Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I feel like this video is way overdue. As you guys can probably tell by the title, we are going to be talking about my microbladed eyebrows. I'm going to talk about my experience, kind of what the experience is like, and then I'm going to do a little Q&A as well. A lot of people had so many questions. I was like, wow, I guess this must be a really high demand on the microblading, and so, you know, what better way than to talk about it and share it with you guys through YouTube. So get your snacks ready, get your coffee or tea ready, because you know I do. You guys can probably also tell my hair changed. I got some bangs. What do you guys think about this look? I'm kind of digging it. I wanted to change it up, and I've been wanting bangs for such a long time, and I finally did it. And yes, I cut them myself. Not too shabby. Anyways, I feel like I'm getting off topic. So I think how I'm gonna get into this is first go through the Q&A, all the questions that I got, and then I'm also gonna insert a full detailed clip of my whole experience. I do have a voiceover over that, so kind of be telling you what's going on in the whole process. But I'm gonna grab my phone here and I'm gonna be reading your guys' questions and kind of answering basically all your guys' questions. So I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram, I posted a small little clip of the whole experience. Basically the clip that I'm gonna be inserting in this full video is a much detailed and longer version of this. So go check this little one out if you haven't already. So let's get right into this. Okay, I feel like the first question that everybody asks me is, did it hurt? Explaining this, the feeling of it all is kind of hard. So how I like to describe it, it's like a really painful paper cut. Paper cuts are really like thin cuts. They're like not that deep, but they hurt so bad, like really bad. And this is very similar, but I would say it's a little bit, the cuts are a little thicker and deeper, and you're using like a little miniature razor. So I don't know if you guys know the razors that cut open cardboard boxes. It's like a miniature version of that, I would say, and it's cutting into your skin basically. And the area around my brows is pretty sensitive. I don't know about you guys, like when you pluck your brows, it's sensitive. So yeah, I mean, it hurts, but it's bearable. Ayna, the lady that did my brows, she did the first round with no numbing, and then the second round she went over with numbing. And the reason being is because she explains that the numbing cream tends to tighten the skin, and then it's really hard to stretch the skin or get like really deep into the skin when you're razoring it. So that's why the first round she does without numbing. So that part hurts, but once you put the numbing on, you don't really feel anything. It's honestly a piece of cake, and it's a good fun experience. I also had some people ask me roughly how much it costs. So the lady that did my brows, her name's Ayna, she charges $450 for the session. And then when you come in for a touch-up, which is like 4 weeks, 5 weeks after you're healed, you come in for a touch-up, and she kind of goes over, sees the areas that may be kind of faded much quicker, or when they healed, they faded dramatically. She'll kind of go over and touch up areas. That's gonna be at $50. So basically, it's roughly like $500 total. Every person might charge differently, but those are her prices. I will also provide her link down below in the description box so you guys can check out her price list and see all her work. I also have a lot of people asking me how long it lasts. So everybody's skin is so different, and it's gonna last differently for everybody. The way Ayna explained to me is that drier skin is gonna kind of hold on to the pigment longer, and oilier skin, it's not gonna last as long. So typically she says 2 to 3 years. It all depends. It depends on your skin type. If you have oilier skin, she recommends doing like the shaded brows. So it's not microblading. She does more like shading. Typically that works better for oilier skin because it doesn't tend to fade as quick. Microblading tends to fade quicker if you have oilier skin. If you have dry skin, the microblading is really perfect for you. Also, people really want to know the difference between getting tattooed eyebrows and then getting microbladed eyebrows. So there is a difference. For tattooing brows, they actually use ink that is permanent, and microblading and shading, they use pigment, which is not permanent, so it will fade eventually over time. I don't know if you've noticed people who get their eyebrows tattooed. It looks basically like a tattoo. It doesn't look natural or anything like that, and it's gonna last basically forever. Microblading is where they use pigment that is more natural to your like hair color, and it looks softer, it appears softer, more realistic, and it fades over time, so it's not permanent. A nice thing about getting microbladed or the shading done for your brows is that, you know, when brows do tend to change in trends, like the style, the shapes, and all that, you can always change that out. You're not committed. It's very similar to getting like lip fillers or something. A lot of people get lip fillers and over time they dissolve. It's same thing for microblading. So a lot of people also ask me, like, how do you take care of your microbladed eyebrows, especially like the few days after, you know, the whole healing process. So basically the first day, actually the first 24 hours, Ayna gave me like a gel slash cream. It's like a healing cream basically. That's the best way I could describe it. In the first 24 hours, I have to clean my brows every 2 hours and reapply that ointment onto my brows. That way they don't start to scab, and if they start to scab, you're gonna tend to fade a lot quicker. So the first 24 hours are like crucial to take good care of your eyebrows, because that's like the most important healing process. The first night, she tells me I can either wake up twice or 3 times a night to clean them and reapply the ointment, or she explained that I can clean my brows right before going to sleep, apply the ointment, and put like a plastic wrap on your brows. That way it kind of holds that like moisture in. I don't know what it does, but apparently it's really good for healing and it heals it really well. I'm not that type of person to wake up twice or 3 times a night, so I did the whole plastic wrap thing and it worked really well. So the first 24 hours are the most important, and then after that, for the first 10 days, you are not allowed to get your eyebrows wet. You're not allowed to use any kind of brow products on them. Basically avoid doing anything but keeping them clean and basically moisturized with that ointment. After the 10 days, you can treat your brows just like you treated your brows before. So that's kind of like the whole healing process and how to take care of them. I also have a lot of people ask me, do I still fill in my brows? Do I still do anything to my brows? And the answer is yes, I do. When you get your eyebrows microbladed, it doesn't mean that you can just throw away all your brow products and forget that brow products exist. No, do not do that, because over time your brows will fade. You're gonna need to fill them in here and there. Also, when I have a full face of makeup on, I like to darken up my brows so they kind of match evenly. When I'm not wearing any makeup, I don't touch my brows just because they're more filled in already. They're basically filled in already for me, so I don't have to touch them at all. But don't throw away your brow products just because you might still need to touch up here and there, make them look a little bit more darker on one side than the other, because your brows are gonna fade eventually and you're gonna need to fill them in. For me, it's basically more like a guideline. So I got them because my brows were really uneven to begin with. It's not that they were uneven, I just didn't have hair growing on this, I think it's this brow. This brow didn't have as much hair on the top, so it looked like this brow was always lower than this brow. So Ayna was able to fix that up by bringing up hairs higher up here to make them look more even. So that was my issue, but now I feel like I have a really good guide to go off of when I do my brows. It makes just my life a lot more easier, and doing my makeup, like literally I only take 5 minutes to do my brows. 5 minutes, when before it took me like 20. Even longer if I was having a rough brow day. Let's see. I also had a girl on Instagram. She asked me, seriously considering this as my brows are out of control, how do you go about showering, washing your face, etc.? So this goes along with the whole healing process. Avoid water for 10 days. but the way Ayna explained it to me, when you're showering, so that ointment that she gives to you, basically right when you're showering, just apply like a good amount of that ointment on your brows, and if any water gets on your brows, it kind of helps the water just kind of like drip right off of it, so it's kind of like a protective coat almost. And then when I'm washing off my makeup, I just kind of wash my face, but be really careful around my brows. If I have to, I just clean up the makeup around my brows with like a makeup remover, a little towelette or something. But just try your best to keep them as dry as possible. If you do get a little bit of water, just try to wipe it off, you know, quickly, and that's about it. Also, I forgot to mention about the whole healing process and kind of how the healing process works. You take care of your brows, obviously. The first day you get your brows done, they're gonna be really sore and they're gonna kind of hurt. The second day, they're still kind of sore, but the second day, your brows get a lot darker than what they looked like when you first got them done. So basically they're gonna really like darken up, but that's normal during the whole healing process. By day 3 or 4, your brows are gonna start kind of like almost like peeling, but in just like small little areas. As long as they're not scabbing, that's a good sign. It's normal for them to be kind of like white and flaky. That's just the whole healing process of it all. After a few days, that will all go away. I feel like I kind of covered most of it. Honestly, it's like very simple and kind of like common sense. I'm not sure if I answered all the questions. Hopefully I did. If not, just ask a question down in the comment section down below. I'm gonna go ahead and insert the clip of where the whole process kind of begins. And like I said, I do have a voiceover over that, so it's gonna explain to you everything that's happening. But without further ado, enjoy. So we are currently in the car getting ready to leave. We are a little bit early, so we're gonna go ahead and grab some tea and coffee. I'm not gonna have coffee because technically they say you're not supposed to have any caffeine before you get them done. So I'm just gonna have a caffeine-free tea. And Mom's gonna have coffee. And she's gonna be vlogging this whole experience. She's so cute. So she's first cleaning the brows, and then she's going to be measuring and outlining the brows on how I want them to look like. Here she's still kind of working on my shape and just perfecting it. After she gets the shape down, she wants me to sit up so she can take a look at the shape while I'm sitting, and she even had me stand up to take a look at them while I stand as well, and she kind of had me look at them, see if I liked the shape and if it looked even to me. She goes ahead and cleans the brows up a bit. Here she brings out all the colors that she wants me to take a look at, and she's going to be placing these colors on my forehead just to see how they're going to look on my skin tone, and this is the way I'm going to be finding out which shade I like best. I actually chose 2 different shades. We combined them and mixed them because I did want more of a cooler shade with a little tiny hint of warmth in it. Here she's taking a surgical marker and just dotting my eyebrows and making outlines so she can see better when she's actually doing the microblading. Then afterwards, she begins the whole process. A lot of people have asked me if it hurt to get this done, and I'm gonna be honest and say it did at first before she put on the numbing. The reason why she doesn't numb the brows at first, doing the first little process of the brow, is because the numbing tenses up the skin and she has a hard time stretching the skin out, and the pigment doesn't sit in the skin as well. So she first does it without the numbing cream, and then she goes ahead and does numbing, and then does round 2 of microblading. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to explain how the pain level is like. So if you can imagine like a razor blade that you cut cardboard boxes open with, they're really sharp, and this blade kind of reminded me of that, except a very small miniature version of it. I feel like if you were to take that cardboard box blade and like cut yourself a little bit, I feel like it would be a very, very similar pain level. Here she's spreading the product around after creating hair-like cuts in the brow. And here she's just switching to the other brow and doing the same exact thing. The reason why she spreads the product around like this is so those cuts saturate the product really well. After she lets the product sit on my brow for a little bit, she's going to go ahead and wipe it off. And then you're going to notice she's going to apply something to the brow, and that is the numbing cream. And then after the numbing cream, she's going to go ahead and work on round 2 of the brows. You're going to notice some bleeding happening, and that is completely normal during the procedure. During this part of the round 2 procedure, I completely feel nothing, so I don't feel any pain whatsoever. You're going to notice she's going to switch into like a tapping tool, and this basically creates shading in the brow to make a more fuller looking brow. I had a very, very sparse brow, so this helped make it look a lot more fuller. Alright, she had me sit up, and at this point I felt a little dizzy, but it's completely normal, and she made me look at my brows and see if I liked them, and I did. So she went ahead and applied more pigment on them so the brows could really soak up that pigment, and she let me sit there for 5 minutes with my brows looking all crazy. After the 5 minutes were up, she went ahead and wiped that pigment off. And voila, the brows are done. I was super happy and impressed at how well they turned out. I actually have even and full brows now. Oh, it's over already. Alright, you guys, and that was it for my microblading video. I hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A, and I hope you guys enjoyed the whole step-by-step process. I'm gonna include all of Ayna's information down below. Like I mentioned before, she's incredible. You know, I had such a great experience with her. I loved her office. It was so cute, so clean, which is really important. She is so bubbly, she's so funny, she's so easy to get along with. Like, I feel like me and her are girlfriends already. She's so careful, and she does her research before she does your brows. So if you get in touch with her and like tell her what you want, she will do her research, and she's amazing. Like, when I reached out to her, she looked at my pictures previously and kind of got a feel for what kind of brows I like, so she kind of already knew. But she's so detailed with her work. Like, if you tell her what you want, she will do it. If you tell her you want more of a corrective work, she will get the job done, and you will fall in love with her work. That's what I really loved about her, and that's why she like really caught my eye. And I just want to thank you, Ayna, for the amazing experience that I got with you. So thank you. Like I said, I'm gonna include her Instagram and her website down below so you guys can check her out. But if you guys are, you know, out of the state of Washington or Oregon, then please do your research before you get your microbladed brows done, because it is so important to do your research beforehand. You know, go to a true professional and someone who is really strict on their, you know, safety and sanitation. So like for me, that is super, super important. I hope I was able to answer some of your guys' questions, or, you know, any concerns that you guys had. Hopefully I was able to answer this all for you. But thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment down below. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Maybe I forgot something. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video.